Hello everybody, my name is Axel and here we are again. I guess this is a debrief of sorts. I haven't done that in a while. But anyway, we're just here to recap what we've learned and what's the future in store for this channel moving forward after we ended the Trails game. As you know, 2020 and here 2021 was the year of the Trail series for this channel. We started with Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and then we went back to Trails in the Sky until the Trails the 3rd, and then we tackled on the Crossbell games, and recently we just finished here in Cold Steel 4. So we have this closure of this, I guess, mini arc, because we still have the Reverie and the Calvert Arc in the future. But for our current situation here, I'd like to call the story from Trails in the Sky until here in Cold Steel 4 as the Osborne Arc. Because everything that happened is because of Osborne. And now we know that he had no choice, I guess, because he can withstand Ishmelga, but he still went ahead and do what Ishmelga tells him to do in order for him to destroy Ishmelga. So I guess Osborne had no choice. He had to see it as the ends justifying the means. That's what he had to work with. Because even before Trails in the Sky, the Hamel incident, it was all about Osborne. Ishmelga wanted Lion Dreikel's reincarnated soul in Osborne, that he made the events in Hamel happen, which in turn cascaded, I guess, into what happened to Osborne's family, which forced Osborne to make a pact with Ishmelga. So yeah, Ishmelga's plot has been happening since, I guess, 1200 years, ever since the Septarion of Steel got formed. And he basically did all the tragedies in this part of Zemuria. I guess even the part of the Crossbell Alchemists, I think. Or is it? I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, we also learned about the divergent laws. They kept mentioning it ever since Cold Steel 2, when McBurn showed them, what's his weapon? Angbar. When he showed them Angbar, and they mentioned something about the divergent laws. Now we know that that divergent law means that people in the Zemurian continent are inside some kind of a bird cage, and that there's a limit as to how far they can go away from the Zemurian landmass. So that needs to be explored too in Reverie and the Calvert Arc. So there's still a lot of questions that needed to be answered by the end of Cold Steel 4, like what the hell's Ouroboros' end goal here? Yeah, they mentioned Mariabel and Campanella mentioned something about just observing, so I guess they are observing the effects of the Septarions to the people in Zemuria.
That's right. We don't care if they disappear either, the same way the Septarion of Mirage did.
Yeah, we know that.
Observing the path each of the 7 Septarions take when dropped into mankind's hands in this possible world. That is our goal. The driving force behind the Grandmaster's plan.
They just wanna see what happens if the Septarions are let loose? Then why hide the Septarion of Space? Or maybe they're gonna use it in the Calvert Arc, in the future arc. But if they won't use it, what's the point of observing? If they're not gonna use all their sample sizes, because they have the Septarion of Space, so why not use it for their observation? And what do they get from it? Why are they observing the effects of the Septarions on the people of Zemuria? Why? What do they get out of it? kicks? I don't think so. So what? That's one big question there. And speaking of divergent law, so who placed that law there? Adios? And why? It seems that with Angbar and Kernviter, they are both outside the divergent laws. It seems like things can be pulled from the outside to the inside of Zemuria. And probably maybe the Grandmaster is also from the outside. And she's here. Inside, within the continent of Zemuria. So why? Why? Who is the Grandmaster? So is Ouroboros and the Grandmaster younger than 1200 years? Because 1200 years ago, the Great Collapse happened because of the Septarians. So that should have given them enough information as to the effects of the Septarians on the general populace, but I guess maybe they're checking after 1200 years if the same will happen with the Septarians in play. I don't know. But maybe the Grandmaster is older than 1200 years, and maybe this time here in our current timeline, it's like the second experiment. You know, you gotta repeat the experiment to make sure you get the same result so that your theory or whatever can be confirmed, right? So either Ouroboros and the Grandmaster are older than 1200 years and they're just repeating the experiments that happened during the Great Collapse, or Ouroboros and the Grandmaster came about after the Great Collapse. Where did they come from? Were they from the outside? Well, you know, there's a lot of questions that... And this is just Ouroboros and the Grandmaster. So, we also have the question about McBurn. So what the hell is McBurn? Is he a demon? He is from outside. So like I mentioned, things and entities from outside can come inside Zemuria. But can these same entities go out? We know that humans can't escape the dome or whatever divergent law that is. But how about these special beings like the Grandmaster and McBurn? McBurn is confirmed to be from outside, or at least half of him. No, all of him, no. Yeah. He has a human form, but it's mixed with something from outside Zemuria. So can he go outside? So that's another question there. And also, the Salt Pail that devastated North Ambria. We saw at least 5 pail-like structures in Cold Steel 4, but those did not destroy the localities where they were located. But the Salt Pail did. So why? What's so important about the Salt Pail? Why did it land in North Ambria? What is its relevance moving forward? Will it be relevant still in the Calvert Arc? So we have a lot of questions, and these are just the questions that I can remember. I'm pretty sure there are still others that I have forgotten. So yeah, it's the air of mystery may be overstaying its welcome because it's been 9 games and we still have, I guess, a small clue as to what Ouroboros is up to, because they are the big bad. Regardless of what we think about Osborne, yeah, I even thought Osborne was the big bad of the entire series, but no, it's Ouroboros. So why? What do they stand to gain? Why are they doing this? Where did they come from? And what will McBurn do to them? So yeah, there are a lot of questions regarding the big bad of the series, which of course, going by the trailers for, I think it was the Calvert Arc, I did see Walter, looking good. So, yeah. Ouroboros will still be the big bad all the way until the Calvert Arc. So, but that's still way off in the future. We still have Reverie to contend with, which is in 2 years from now. So, yeah. That's gonna take a while. Anyway, nothing much for the gameplay because it's the same gameplay since Cold Steel 3. And of course the characters, we got to know them in some sort of deeper level, especially Ren. I love Ren's arc here. It closed here in Cold Steel 4, not in Azure. Isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ren's arc was fully explored during Sky the Third and closed in and finished in Crossbell, Trails from Zero. Yes. And it continued on until Trails to Azure and finally closing here in Cold Steel 4. So I really like what happened to, and you know, the of course the other characters like Elisa, Usis especially. Oh hell yeah, Usis, and even Ash. Yeah, I noticed that Ash mellowed down a bit here. He's still a hard ass, but he's not as hard as before, you know, in Cold Steel 3. And yeah, Yuna still hates Campanella with all her with all her being. But yeah, speaking of Campanella, what the hell is Campanella? Right? He was in the meeting in Star Door 14 in Sky the Third, and he is again present here in the meeting here in Cold Steel 4. What's so special about Campanella? Anyway, I digress. Oh, story, characters, and you know, the music here. The music in this game didn't stand out much, but I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5 music that really stood out for me. You know, the over 10 million of nights. You know, the performance music during Arc and Seal's performance before the war started. The seductive shudder. First heard when we fought Roselia. Mighty Urge, you know, the Gilbert music. And Break-In. The first music we hear once we start the game. And of course, the normal ending music. I know Uta, whatever, how do you pronounce it? Of course, I'm gonna butcher it. But yeah, those are the music that stood out for me. And yeah, final thoughts about the Trail series. So we have the story, some of the characters that I really liked, and of course the music. It really dominated more than a year of my gaming life, and it hit a little snag after some of the quarantine, after some of the lockdowns got eased up. Yeah, because during Cold Steels 1 and 2, I was uploading 3 videos per day. Yeah, because that was a total lockdown here. But after that, yeah, once the lockdowns eased, the uploads became sporadic. I'm just glad we managed to finish Cold Steel 4 before September 10 arrives, because September 10 will be the release of Tales of Arise, the next major RPG that we'll be playing here. But going back to the Trails game, so we finished all the games. I'm updated from Trails in the Sky up to Cold Steel 4. And yeah, as I keep mentioning every time I end one of the games in that series, that it's one hell of a journey. And of course, Cold Steel 4 really delivered. I admit I'm not really a connoisseur of lore, stories, you know, anything artistic. I'm not it. I just enjoy what I enjoy, and I enjoyed the journey from Trails from the Sky until here, Trails of Cold Steel 4. So yeah, that's my final thoughts in the Trails series, and of course I will be seeing you all once Reverie launches in 2023. That's sad. What can we do? But the more immediate concern here is what's next. We know that Tales of Arise will be the next JRPG that will be played in this channel. But how about now, the interim? I'll be uploading this, I guess, maybe in August 25 or August 24. So what do we do in between? I only have 3 options here, although I did get a few good suggestions. You know, like Tokyo Xanadu. Because for some reason I have a copy of the EX version. I'm not sure how or why. Maybe it became free from Steam and I got it. It's the closest game I have that is really close to Trails of Cold Steel. And it does have good ratings in Steam. And we also got ourselves a suggestion of Tales of Zestiria. I think that's the prequel to Tales of Berseria. Its story is after Berseria, but it launched earlier than Berseria. So yeah, we have that. But the only immediate game I have access to right now would be Final Fantasy XIV, which is better streamed than doing a Let's Play, especially since we don't have any more main story quests here until Endwalker launches in November. The Witcher 3, which got put in the back burner when I started the Cold Steel series. As you can see here, I'll put a picture here of the date I last played The Witcher 3 and the date that I first played Cold Steel 1. So either I stream something for Final Fantasy XIV or continue on with the Let's Play of The Witcher 3 until Tales of Arise launches, or I can do one of those compilation things, because ever since Cold Steel 2 I've been thinking of making Trails of compilation. You know, the funny things that happened during our journey through the Trails series, and there are a lot of funny moments, but I'll be focusing mostly on the Cold Steel series because Sky Games and the Crossbell Games, it was only Olivier who brought the laughs. But in Cold Steel we have Machias and even some of the side characters like Alfin and Olivert. They did bring the laughs in, so I'm not sure. Maybe I can do that. One of the advantages of this compilation is that I don't need to record at night. If there's a downtime during office hours, I can just do the editing of the compilation. But anyway, we'll see. That's the current plan now that Trails of Cold Steel 4 and the Trails series is done. And I'll just have to see what we can come up with in the videos after this one. So I guess I hope my rambling is understood. I just gave my final thoughts about the current state of the Trails game, the unanswered questions, or maybe they were answered and I just forgot, and of course, future plans for the channel while waiting for Tales of Arise to launch. So we have a lot to do, but I guess for now, if you enjoyed this video and my rambling, hit that like button. If you wish to be updated on my uploads, especially as to what I decided to do, because if I chose Final Fantasy XIV, I will be streaming it on Twitch. But of course, you know, highlights. I'll be posting highlights here in this channel. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just continue on with The Witcher 3. Maybe. So, if you want to be informed of those, you can hit subscribe and the notification bell. And I also have social media, I guess, if you're into that. I do have a Twitter account, and the link will be in the description down below. The Facebook account, the Facebook page, is not much active. I just upload stuff there. But of the two, I mostly use Twitter compared to Facebook. So you can find the link in the video description down below. So again, thank you so much for watching and tolerating my rambling, and I will see you all next time.